Game 4's in the books. Abdul-Jabbar, they won the only NBA title for the Bucks back in 1971. Milwaukee trying to even a series at 2 apiece. Giannis Antetokounmpo, the putback, took just 4 shots in the opening quarter. Second quarter, Giannis, beautiful spin. He had 12 in the first half. But Devin Booker was the story in the first half. Had his worst game of the finals in Game 3, shot 3 for 14. He was sensational in the first half of Game 4. Drew Holiday all over him, no problem. Hits the jumper, then again from the baseline. 20 points and a half for Booker. Booker, of course, Connaughton. Milwaukee has the lead. Then just over a minute left. DeAndre Ayton for the tying lob. What a block by Antetokounmpo, and then 30 seconds to go. Paul, the uncharacteristic turnover. It's Holiday who finds Middleton, who had an absolutely monster game. Chris Middleton down the stretch was just absolutely clutch. Best game thus far in these NBA finals.
Back at this game, if they lose this series and know that they shot themselves in the foot. I mean, they turned the ball over 17 times and Milwaukee only 5. When you play the Bucks, you can't cough it up like that. And needless to say, when you look at the Bucks, I give Mike Budenholzer a lot of credit. He's been ripped a lot for poor in-game adjustments or lack of. Tonight, he rolled with the Chris Middleton, Giannis screen and roll action on the side and the middle, and that really crushed the Phoenix Suns. I thought Middleton was fabulous hunting down his shots, a lot of screen assists for Giannis. They played with force, they played with toughness. I thought the officiating really helped the Bucks, allowed them to be super physical. They have more size and length than Phoenix, and I think the style of play really helped them. And Chris Paul, another game in a big spot where he comes up short, and he's got best 2 out of 3 now with home court advantage. And for him, I think they need him to be a lot better. He's the heart and soul of their team. Devin Booker, you can't ask for more from him. But the bottom line is he was brought in to help show this team the way. He's done a great job, Chris Paul, but nonetheless, he didn't play well tonight, as you mentioned. And he's had these moments, unfortunately, before in big games. He's got to get through that and show the way to this young team.
I want to get back to what you said about the officiating, Jack, because somewhat coincidentally, Jeff Van Gundy was one of the guys calling this game on TSN. And clearly he was enjoying it because it almost felt like we were watching like Knicks Rockets in the 90s or something. It was, as you alluded to, very physical. I assume you feel it was a little too physical, and obviously that favors the Bucks.
Well, it favors the Bucks, and here's the thing. And I could care, honestly, I could care less who wins. I mean, I just want to see good basketball. The reality, though, is the former owner of the Phoenix Suns, Jerry Colangelo, he was a big force in terms of how the game is officiated now and how the game's played. And we don't see a lot of hand-to-hand combat anymore in NBA games. There was a ton of physicality on the perimeter and a lot of, I mean, Devin Booker should have fouled out. He definitely committed a 6th foul, and you mentioned it on the highlights, Jay, and got away with that. Why is that happening? And there were just a lot of plays throughout the night where you just shake your head and go, what's going on here? And James Capers, the lead official, is one of the best in the business, but they had an off night tonight. But nonetheless, the drama was great. The intensity was there. The bottom line is, and I mentioned this a number of times the last few days, Phoenix, if they were going to win tonight, they had to show incredible offensive toughness. Because when you play Milwaukee, if you let them run, if you let them have transition, you're going to have problems. And tonight, those 17 turnovers, they're a byproduct of not being tough enough offensively on the road. And now here we have a best-of-3 series.
You know, Jack, Chris Middleton and Drew Holiday have received a lot of criticism throughout the playoffs for not necessarily showing up every single game and supporting Giannis. But what about Chris Middleton on this night? At times he had to carry the offense for Milwaukee and did enough for them to help them win. how important was it that someone was able to take the load off Antetokounmpo for at least Game 4?
He was masterful, wasn't he, Jay? I mean, just so incredible, keeping his bounce alive, navigating in tight quarters, side screener roll, mid screener roll with Giannis, some ISOs on the baseline where he just backed in and shot over people, really going after people, hunting down matchups. He had a matchup a few times with Cameron Payne, went right at him. So I loved how he played. He exerted himself. He really showed why he's such an outstanding offensive player. Drew Holiday has had a difficult series overall from an offensive perspective, but he gives you great toughness and physicality defensively, whether it be on the ball, as a help defender, and his playmaking was still solid. I mean, making plays for teammates, really doing a good job using his size and keeping the bounce alive and getting guys hooked up. And I tell you what, guy we didn't mention yet deserves a lot of credit. Pat Connaughton.
Yes.
How about some of the dagger shots that he made? You know, we talk about offensive toughness. You got to have shooting toughness. You got to take that shot and live with the consequences if you don't make it. And people going, why is this guy shooting the ball in a moment like this? The ball finds guys sometimes. Some guys run from it. Some guys run to it. And he ran to it, and he elevated his game.
Connaughton, as you mentioned, chips in with 11. Holiday had 11, 6 assists. But, yeah, Chris Middleton, 36 big points in a Bucks win to even up this series. Game 5 is Saturday. Jack Armstrong, love chatting with you. Love watching the games with you. Have a terrific night, my friend. Oh, we abruptly cut off Jack there. That's okay. Here we go. This is the story. And, yeah, these guys were both